But now he was a free agent, a wolf without a pack. It wasn't common, but it did happen. Lone wolves existed, though most roamed the wilds and were left to their own devices. He just never thought he'd be one. Ethan set down his phone, hanging up the washcloth on the already crowded towel bar. He willed the shift, inhaling sharply and bidding his bones to melt, his skin to ripple. It occurred to him a moment after he took his wolf form that the bathroom wasn't quite large enough. Indeed, a swish of his tail knocked over various bottles, sending them scattering across the marble floor. His claws clicked on the tiles, but he lifted his muzzle toward the mirror and met his reflection once more. The horse-sized wolf that stared back was hollow-eyed, though his fur covered most of his bruising and the cuts, save for the slash along his brow. He inhaled, and the breath stuck in his ribs, in some empty, strange pocket. Wolf with no pack. Amelie and Sabine had not merely bloodied him. They'd exorcised him from their lives, from the den. He backed into the towel rack, tossing his head this way and that. Worse than an Omega. Friendless, kinless, unwanted. Ethan shuddered back into his humanoid form. Panting, he braced his hands on the bathroom counter and waited until the nausea subsided. His phone buzzed again. Every muscle in his body tensed. Perry Ravenscroft. He might have ignored it had he not read the first part of the message as it appeared. Please tell me you're alive. Ethan sighed. Amelie's younger sister, the Omega of the Black Rose Pack, was technically the reason he'd made it here. Had said nothing about her sister and Sabine ripping him to shreds, but she'd carried him into the apartment. She was the only one of his former pack to survive. Even though he knew he couldn't endure taking his wolf form again anytime soon. Ethan took in the bathroom, the various crap Bryce had left lying around. She'd been a wolf without a pack for those 2 years, too. Yeah, she had Fury and Juniper, but it wasn't the same as Danica and Connor and the pack of devils. Nothing would ever be the same as that. Ethan typed back, yes, then slid his phone into his pocket. Bryce would be home soon, and she'd mentioned something about pizza. Ethan patted out into the it'd erase the tightness. He'd known precisely why he'd disobeyed Sabine's order this spring when Bryce had screamed for help. The sound of her pleading had been unbearable, and when she'd mentioned children at risk, something had exploded in his brain. He had no regrets about what he'd done. But could he endure its consequences? Not the beating. He could weather that shit any day. But being here, alone, adrift. He hadn't felt like this since, like Connors growled. Make better choices this time, pup. Assess. Decide what you want. But for now, one foot in front of the other. He could do that, if just for today. Ethan walked to the door and pulled the leash off the hook on the wall beside it. "Want a walk?" he asked Syrinx. The beast rolled onto his side as if saying, "Belly rub, please." Ethan slung the leash back onto its hook. "You got it, bud." Approachable asshole, huh? Bryce leaned against the bars of the immaculate cell beneath the comitium, frowning at where Hunt sat on a steel-framed cot, head hanging. He straightened at her words, gray wings tucking in. His face... Bryce stiffened. "What the fuck, Hunt?" Black eye, swollen lip, cuts along his temple, his hairline. "I'm fine," he grumbled, even though he looked as bad as Ethan. "Who called you?" "Your new boss." She filled me in. "She sounds nice, by the way." Bryce pressed her face through the bars. "Definitely nice, since she hasn't kicked your ass to the curb yet." "She did put me in this cell." "Isaiah put you in the cell." "Whatever." "Don't whatever me." Gods, she sounded like her mother. His voice sharpened. "I'll see you at home. You shouldn't be here." "And you shouldn't have gotten into a stupid fight, but here you are." Lightning forked down his wings. Go home. Was he really pissed she was here? She snorted. Were you intentionally trying to sabotage yourself today? Hunt shot to his feet, then winced at whatever pain it summoned in his battered body. Why the fuck would I do that? A deep male voice answered, Because you're a stupid bastard. Bryce grimaced. She'd forgotten about Pollux. Hunt snarled, I don't want to hear your fucking voice. Get used to it, said another male voice from the elevator bay at the end of the White Hall. Bryce found a tall, lean angel approaching with a natural elegance. Not beautiful, not in the way that Hunt and Pollux and Isaiah were, but striking, intense and focused. Baxian Argos, the Hellhound, an angel with the rare ability to shift into the form that had given him his nickname. Hunt had told her about him too. Baxian hadn't ever tortured Hunt or others, as far as she knew, but he'd done plenty of awful things in Sandriel's name. He'd been her chief spymaster and tracker. Baxian bared his teeth in a fierce smile. Hunt bristled. Like hell would these males make her back down. Pollux crooned from his cell, his pretty boy face as battered as Hunt's. Why don't you come a little closer, Bryce Quinlan? Hunt growled. Don't talk to her. Bryce snapped. Spare me the protective alpha hole act. Before Hunt could reply, she'd stalked over to Pollux's